Afternoon everybody, Silverbolt here, back for a Transformers review. Going to be doing, because I don't yet have the next two parts to, well, either the next two parts to Computron, Unique Toys, Odin Troll. It's Blot. And this is a bit of a new one for me because obviously I've been doing a lot of third-party reviews and an awful lot of it has been about characters that I've previously done. However, despite the fact that I had the toy years ago, I've never done a G1 Abominus review. So going old school with new school, this is Generation 1, no IDW, because he doesn't do an awful lot in IDW. Blot! It's Blot! We've got some love with a Blot! That could be taken really wrong. The Terracons show up quite late in Season 3 of the animated cartoon. The Predacons, of course, also show up in Season 3 of the animated cartoon. However, it's actually explained where they come from. They were working for the Quintessons, then they stopped working for the Quintessons and start working for Galvatron. How, why, what, and where? That's not explained. Come on. Logical storytelling in the 80s cartoon? You must be mad. We had to wait till we got Beast Wars before we got that. And the Terracons' origin in the Generation 1 Season 3 cartoons is even more of a mystery. They just show up. 1 minute they just happen to be there inside Unicron's head with Galvatron. They're just there. So, it's kind of really strange as to why they are... Why are these monster bots suddenly part of the Decepticons again? Who knows? So, they show up in the episode of Grimlock's New Brain, which is one of my favourite episodes because, of course, it introduces Computron. And so it begins that, you know, a lot of, you know, Superion has Menasor and Defensor has... somebody. You know, Omega has Devastator. You know, or the Dinobots have Devastator. You know, there seems to be an ongoing rivalry between certain Autobot combiners and certain Decepticon combiners. So, Abominus, well, he got Computron. So you can imagine how much I can't wait to complete these guys and Warbitron at the same time. So yes, Blot is there. Now, in the cartoon, he's voiced by, well, he's credited as being voiced by Tony St. James. But I honestly don't remember him ever talking. You know, he shows up and he fights. I don't actually recall him talking. Now, Blot, in the episode of Money is Everything, which introduces Dirk Manus, who looks quite an awful lot like Leoric from Visionaries, crossed with Han Solo. Blot is the first one to have their little MacGuffin thing stuck on them. Now, the molecular I've got it written down here. The molecular disassembler reassembler. Molecular disassembler reassembler. There we go. He's the first one to have it tested on him, and it makes him sick. Despite the fact that it apparently works. Anyway, though the Terracons again show up, they are combined into their Abominus' form, but the Quintessons' failsafe mechanism that's built into them, despite the fact that they work for Galvatron, apparently, forces them to disengage, and they vanish out the episode. I think they're in... I think they're vaguely seen in the Rebirth, Steel the Heat-Resistant Alloy, in the episode of The Return of Optimus Prime. The Terracons don't really get an awful lot of love. Blot doesn't get an awful lot of love, though his character bio is disgustingly interesting. It depicts him as a smelly, oozing, leaking, not very clever Decepticon. I mean, it's no wonder he's a mean-tempered Decepticon. I mean, if you're oozing from every... If you're oozing from every joint, you smell, and you're a few bolts short of a full bucket, well, no wonder you're going to be a bad-tempered bad guy. I mean, come on, we all would be. So, why is Blot leaking? I don't know. Why does he smell? I don't know. Why would a robot need a sense of smell? I don't know. But hey ho, such fun! I look positively manic then. On to the thing that I really want to talk about, which is the toy. Now, I remember doing my third-party video, Are They Knockoffs? And the thing I said in that was, we need a blot. And it was only like 2 weeks later that this guy was announced. And it's from Uniqe Toys, which, of course, as most people will be aware, Uniqe Toys, you know, they're not the best known for their greatest products. However, this guy, and so far the other two that I have, can't fault him. Cannot fault them. Well, I can actually, but I'll get into that. Massive, massive improvement in quality and design of their toys over what they used to do. Though I'll admit, I think this is actually the first Uniqe Toys that I've actually owned properly. Anyway, robot mode. These two, well, you can mount them in the shoulders, or you can put them in the hands or on the wrists. I don't have the rest of the foot to hand, but they're guns that fold up and form the edges of the foot for the Abominus. Unlike, say, Warbatron, but like, say, TFC, all the parts come with the individual bots for combining them. This is the character figure itself, and it has a very clever transformation. Not overly complicated, as we all know. I don't like overly complicated things. It tends to hurt my brain, and then I tend to hurt the toy. So I don't tend to go for overly complicated toys, as most people know. This is not overly complicated. It's a little bit finicky, but it's very, very cleverly done. One of the things that really, really, really impressed me was that the arms are separate from the troll, goblin, Godzilla face, whatever he is supposed to be. Because, well, the original cartoon, he was kind of an ape in the toy version, crossed with a goblin, crossed with a troll. No one actually knows what the hell Blot transformed into. Who cares? He's still gorgeous. So, the back parts of the big monster arms with the big crushy claws, which I'll get to when I transform him, are not the robot arms, though they can be, which gives them a kind of like a funky pit fighter mode, which I quite like, which I'll cover that when I transform him. I'm going to be covering an awful lot when I transform him. Bet I'll forget half of it. Articulation-wise, head swivel, no light piping. I'm not particularly upset about that. I really don't mind, because he's got an absolutely beautiful face sculpt. It is lovely. Real, and I like the shades. It's a gorgeous face sculpt. So I can completely forgive the total lack of light piping. It really isn't a problem for me. Head sculpt, head articulation, 360 spin, some forward and back, left and right, obviously. He can do a Perceptor kick quite handily. Articulation is in the shoulders, full 360, obviously. Wrist articulation and bicep swivel. Waist articulation at the hips, going sideways and all the way up. Not quite all the way round, but not really much of a problem. Knee swivel and knee bend. And he has a front foot ankle, not a proper ankle tilt, but combine that with the little tab here that moves. It's really not, doesn't need to be a full-on ankle tilt. Does have hollow leg syndrome, which they actually fixed with Cinetwin. But I can live with it. I can live with hollow leg. I have no problem with that. Oh, and he also has hollow arm syndrome. But again, I can live with it. You're not seeing it straight off the bat, so it's all pretty groovy. And, you know, as a robot figure, the degree of articulation, the quality of the plastic, and just that gorgeous face sculpt. He is 1000% adorbs. So, really, really, really nice robot mode. I cannot go against the robot mode. I think it is fabulous. It's just, he's so nice. He really is. And I think they, you know, Unique Toys, as I said, have had their problems in the past. But with this one, they really came out swinging. They came into they did what Warbatron did, which was they came into the combiner market, which has been dominated by TFC and MMC, and to a lesser extent, Fans Project, and just went, boom! We're here. And did an absolutely brilliant job with Blot. It is great to see such, in some regards, a loved character, but in other regards, a really obscure character coming out first. Personally, I would have thought they'd have done maybe Cinetwin first, or maybe Cutthroat first. But I'm quite happy with Blot. I really, really, really am. So, we'll give you some idea of what I can get. Now, I'm going to mention this now, and it is one of the flaws that I've come across in this toy. Now, I've played with this toy quite a bit. I've transformed him quite a bit, and he is starting to get a bit of a flaw. The shoulder tabs in there are just friction joints. They just push into place. And they are starting to wear. It's quite, you probably need to full screen that. I think my camera can get it in. You can just see it there. It's starting to wear a little bit, which isn't a huge problem, but it might in later terms. I mean, I can always solve that problem with a bit of clear nail polish, or something like that, or even probably just Games Workshop matte varnish will probably be able to sort that out for me. But anyway, going on to what I call his arena, or D&D kind of battle form. Yeah, battle form. So you fold up the arms, and then you unfold the back arms. That's great use of grammar there, Simon. Unfold them. And then these arms, very, very cleverly, just fold in. You know, open up the arm so you've got the room for it to manoeuvre, and it just folds in. Twist it, and it folds into place. And it's so simple, and yet it's so clever, and it's so different from the arm either collapses or folds in on itself. You know, and you do the same to both sides, well, obviously. So, yeah, you do the same both sides, fold it into place. Thanks for snorting there, Fortress. That's jolly good of you. And then the purple platforms should just snap into place. There we go. And they just fold forward. They just fold forward. There they go. And then you just lift the head up. Sorry, you lift the head up out the chest. Fold it up. Fold the head. Been a while since I've done this myself now. Fold it. Fold the head in. There we go. When you get that right, Simon. Fold that. Twist the head round. Fold it in. There we go. It's just been a while since I've done this toy. And then collapse the shoulders. Twist the arms so they're... So the folded in robot arms aren't in there. And you have Raw, who actually looks kind of like a Rock Lord. I can't for the life remember what Rock Lord one it is. It was the red one that was one of the that worked with Magma. But he reminds me of a Rock Lord. And that's what I call, you know, that's his pit mode, that's his pit fighting mode. Does have a big gaping hole here. I can live with it. I can live with it. I've seen worse things on worse toys. Now, the rest of the transformation is very easy when you get to do it, but it requires quite a bit of twisting and twiddling and okay? First thing you want to do is snap the waist, not literally snap the waist, don't do what I did with Megatron, and unfold his loincloth. This will enable you to, this will enable you to see his loincloth. I mean, it's not exactly rocket science. There we go. Yeah. And now the legs kind of disassemble onto themselves. So you flip the heel spurs in, and then you turn the feet round and fold them up. And that's the very basic you have to do with the legs. And then you've kind of got to, you fold them back on themselves, because obviously they are hollow legs. And then the easiest way I can describe this is just keep twisting until it makes sense. Especially, or you just follow the instruction manual. You know, if that's your thing. Instruction manuals. I really should have learned to read the instruction manuals. Well, I do read the instruction manuals and then promptly stuff them all in a drawer with everything else and forget about them. So yeah, you just twist everything, and it is actually very intuitive in itself. I'm just a numpty. So when you finally got it finished, you'll have something that looks like this. This is Blot's, well, Blot mode. You know, it's what is it? It's a weird Godzilla alien creature thing. Has very good articulation in beast mode. Yeah, beast mode. Why not call it beast mode? Quite a good range of motions as well. He's got the shoulder joints and the movement. He has some movement in the arms. Now, you can give yourself a actual proper real big elbow joint just by twisting the biceps and moving him up like that. But then you've got all the open arm kibble exposed, so it's entirely up to you if you want to do that. You don't need to, but it's up to you. He has articulation in his fingers. All of his 3 claws are on ball joints, and it rotates as well. So that's really, really good. There is ankle tilt due to its transformation, and there is forwards and backwards in it, which gives the legs quite a degree of posability that they wouldn't normally have. But in saying that, there's no greatwards outwards side because of the restrictions that are in place by the ball joints and the transformation. Not exactly a problem. I mean, I can't imagine you're going to get many dynamic action poses out of, well, something that looks like a rock lord that's been pulverized. I don't know. Anyway, what do I think of it? Well, in case you haven't noticed, I friggin' love him! I think he is fantastic. I really, really like him. He comes with these 2 guns that, to be honest, I think look a lot better in the shoulder ports than they do in the hands. They don't really look quite right sitting in his hands. But hey-ho. Now, you can mount the back piece onto the back to form like a missile launcher. I'm not the biggest fan of that one either. I think it looks kind of dull. But there we go. Yeah, the guns don't really work as handguns. Maybe if they put a peg down on the bottom or something like that, they would work better. But I like them as shoulder cannons. I believe that Hunger, when he comes, actually comes with hand pistols for them all anyway. So it's not really a huge problem. Overall, he is fantastic. I really do like him. He has got some flaws, mostly in, as I said, the way the friction grips are starting to wear. That is the biggest problem I have with him. Aesthetically, he's got a big gaping hole there, and he's also got a hole here that actually lets the light through. You can actually see through it, because it's just a hollow port. It's the combiner port for his leg. Overall, they don't detract from him at all. I can't fault him. He is lovely, lovely Generation 1 inspired. combiner. And as I said, Unique Toys, they did kick it out of the park with Blot, or Troll, or whatever the hell he's called. He's called Blot. The next one, there's not really an awful lot more I can say about it. Only, you know, would it have been better if we got an opening mouth? Again, I can live with not having the opening mouth. I really can live with that. It doesn't really bother me all that much. Actually, I'll be completely honest, it doesn't bother me at all. He is just so much fun. He really is. You know, I mean, they've obviously gone for the scale of TFC and MMC. Obviously, Warbotron is slightly bigger, and I think that's just Warbotron's thing. You know, we're just going to make him slightly bigger. So when I complete Computron and when I complete Ordin, there's going to be a bit of a size disparity. I don't give a damn. He's brilliant. I have no issue. Unique Toys have really done a good job. As I said, the biggest problem I have with them is the plastic is starting to fray a little bit. There's no stress marks, but where the friction grips are, they're starting to show. But you know, you can fix that yourself. On the whole, yeah, he's brilliant. You know, he's got a really nice design, fantastic head sculpt for both robot mode and troll mode. I mean, look at the detail in there. It's absolutely brilliant. And it's a really, really, really fun toy. I have nothing else to say on him. You know, I've said all that I can really say on him. I will be back shortly enough, definitely in the next few weeks, doing the second one of these. As I said, I've only got 3, so it's either going to be the shark or the twin-headed lizard. We shall see. We shall see. But for now, this is Silverbolt with Unique Toys Blot. Signing off, saying au revoir, adios, auf Wiedersehen.